live with high chat. No. Chat's not actually. It's just the guy. It's just the guy. Yeah, it's just the dude's doing it for us. Hi chat. That's what that guy actually sounds like. He goes, hi chat. Now, where the fuck are you guys on this big old map? Why would you lie? Why are you just lying for no reason? I think you're loading in. Yeah, but I want to get to the root of it, you know? Why do you lie? Alright. What happened? Alrighty then. Is everybody in? Is everybody all loaded in now? It is a unfortunately very large map. Much time and effort has been made to make this map extra large. Needlessly so, some might say. But that's okay. Everybody in? Everybody in? Everybody got it? Everybody got it? You all are all seeing the right view? All seeing the gang on the road? Oh wait, I've been talking this entire time, and stream has heard me, even though I thought I muted myself. How cringe of me. How cringe of me. Well, either way, then hello everybody, and welcome to Heroes of Terofane, Chapter 11. Can you guys believe it? It's been 11 games already. That's crazy. Feels like just yesterday we were Chapter 1 over in the town you guys are going back to. But so, speaking of, would anybody like to do the ye old recap? I know it's been a while, but just any decent recap will do. And also, as per usual, if you do it as your character, then you get inspiration potentially. So, anybody like to do the recap potentially?
I think there's
No!
no, actually.
We push
I
on.
can do it. I can do it.
Do it.
All right. Let's see what I remember from this brain of mine. We first began last session, resuming with the Ulf attack upon Howdy's camp. We were able to fend off the wolves, take care of all of them. However, we did lose a horse. It was very sad. Other than that, everybody was fine, however. Howdy treated us then, let us stay over in his camp for the night. While Blindbeak was outside skinning wolves. Everybody thought that was kind of weird, but, that's how it is. In the morning, we depart for our final destination, Port Anfane. We also recruited a new member of the party, actually, a demonic little creature, new cat. I don't like him very much. But
It is
forgot
not
about the
even
cat.
demonic, it is just a normal cat.
I forgot about the
I
cat.
don't believe that for a second.
The cat, oh god,
Yeah,
it
it's
has
not
the
a-
long tail.
That's not a regular
Just
cat.
look
It is
at it.
normal.
Yeah. It has 43 hit points. This thing's not normal.
Oh, my bad. You're not supposed to. Hold on. You're not supposed to say that. It's
That's a strong cat.
in fact,
Yeah.
it'd be a little
Level
bit more
5
like
cat.
this. It would be more
The
like.
CR5 cat.
Hold on. I'm editing it. I'm editing it to properly
can beat me
represent
up.
what it's supposed to have. Okay. What do you?
I feel like the question marks are worse.
Yeah. Well, who knows? It's a weird cat. If it's even a cat
I
at
believe it.
all.
Mm.
But okay. So, is that the end of your tale there, Sinbad?
I believe so.
Why did everything?
I do not recount too
shrink?
much happening otherwise.
Uh,
Fighting
when
the wolves.
I said that right.
yeah, you did. I think.
That was most of the session.
I was like, all we did, yeah.
Yeah, it was a big fight with the Ulfs. Had to defend Howdy and the farm, but you guys were very capable at doing so. But now you guys all find yourselves upon the road again after resting up with Howdy for some time, and are now going off into the towards the Port Anfang town that Baron Monty is waiting for you, and you have the packages. You have one on the crate. The cart, and then the other one is being held by Hundolfir, I believe, if my notes and my remembering is correct. Unfortunately for this session, Blindbeak is suffering from absence, which means he's a bit distant. It's like the common cold in this world, but instead of being
Wow.
yeah, they both kind of the cat sits on top of his head, staring blankly forward, as Blindbeak also stares blankly forward. Both of
I had
their
the cat.
opaque eyes. You blink your eyes, Treyas, and then for some reason the cat is right next to you.
Oh, okay.
I hate that.
Do I
This
notice
is very
that?
cool. This kitty is so talented.
It does its strange vibrating that could be purring.
I thought Trace was like. Shouldn't
What?
you like you should? I know you've not seen cats before, but you should know this is not normal at this point.
Yeah, it's
I've
talented.
implied that much. I think I've implied
cat
last
with many
time that this
talents.
cat isn't normal, but I don't think one thing about Treyas is Treyas doesn't really care all that much, I think.
Trays
But-
don't know. Trays don't care. Could be different types of cats.
True. But
Sinbad is more scared of this thing than he is of the wyvern that we have.
If someone like Sinbad can just be walking around, this
Like,
cat's
speaking
totally
of
normal.
the wyvern,
The wyvern
Fair.
turned into the cat. Actually, it's really weird.
For the best.
Yeesh.
Where did the token
tell
for the
Isaac.
wyvern go? Is it underneath? It is. So I don't know why, but when I updated everything shrunk. All the all the large-sized creatures turned into medium-sized
Happened with
creatures.
Gurag 2. It was 1.11.2. It got fixed in 1.11.3.
Whack.
Very unfortunate.
Well, either way, it's not too bad because it's very easy to fix. But either way, you guys are off from Howdy's. Going down the road once again. It is the morning. You see Volca in the sky. However, one ominous detail is that starting to cloud the horizon is a large thundercloud, a large gray and angry cloud that you see almost unnaturally. You're used to clouds passing by, as clouds do, even at a slow pace. They still move. This cloud seems stubborn. It seems as though it refuses to go along with the wind as it hovers above Port Anfang. But
That's
you,
not foreboding at
Well,
all.
that's ominous. Well, that's ominous.
Quite.
But I imagine, unless you guys want to talk about not, you guys still march forward towards.
Oh, we're going there.
I'm gonna ask both Handolfir and Feyre, what do you think of that cloud? You two are lightning people, correct?
Well, it looks similar to. Well, let's just say I've followed storms like that before.
Oh,
Hey,
is that so?
I was filling my water. What does this cloud look like?
It's angry and well, it doesn't seem destructive. It seems like a normal one, if not for the fact that it doesn't move, and it just seems to hang ominously above the Port Amphang where you guys are arriving.
Whoa, seems like good shade for us at least.
You hear from behind you as they say, "Yes, my sovereign. It would be good to get out of this heat."
It's not a normal cloud, that's for sure. But
Definitely not.
until something happens, I can't really say.
Let's just Brooke pipes up and says, "Let's just hope it's not anything from those people we faced before. We don't know what kind of magic that they could be, well, dealing with."
Perhaps we should pool our knowledge together and try and figure out what our enemies are capable of. I believe they have some acid beings on their side, judging from the melted buildings from the last town.
Melted?
Somebody can make a history check. Oh, I think you also got medium size too, which is weird.
Oh, I'll make it. Let's see here. Decent.
So you know that acid, so you guys have already faced a lot of dragons, but there is one specific type of dragon that sprays acid that is usually black dragons. And as far as you can tell from your memory of like the tales that have been told so far of the prophet's army, it might be it's probably some sort of dragon. And if it were to be, then it might be a black dragon. Either that or they got some wacky acid weapons, but that's what
Green dragons could also do that,
they do. Poison. They have big
Whoa,
clouds.
gas clouds.
but it can be corrosive.
It's true. They still make you melt a little bit, surely.
Yes.
But a little bit.
Not quite as aggressively as black dragons.
Yeah, acid.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
acid is literally like liquid that burns away your flesh, whilst poison is gonna be more like a Ancient Orange type shit, where it, like, burns your eyes and all your orifices and makes you like bleed from the inside out. Actually, kind of worse if you think about it.
Oils and blisters.
Pretty terrible.
Yeah, yeah. Like you're not having a good time.
Huh.
Flashbacks to the game where we all died to a green dragon.
Old color.
Quinn, you did a very good job of describing that back in the day, though. That was good. But so,
It's kind of fucked.
What can I say?
you guys are traveling along, kind of talking about these this army and their capabilities. Almost seeming to kind of like understand what you guys are talking about. You see Dante kind of ruffle his feathers and kind of growl under his breath, but
Good boy.
Not a fan.
They was gonna pet him. It's like pat him on the wing.
yeah, just so it doesn't, you guys have had Dante for a while. Dante will allow it, but begrudgingly. If you actually want to make any headway, I would say you make an animal handling check. But if you just want to pat him, you can.
Yeah, I just want to pat him.
It's not a check anymore.
I'm glad that we've gotten to that point at least.
Yeah, Dante has been the like very preliminary part of training, you know.
Dante's will has been broken enough.
Yeah.
Good job, Blandbeak.
Yeah. You have very wounded comrades. You have Brooke, who is missing a leg, sort of, not really, but basically missing a leg, and then you have Dante, who is slowly but surely losing all of his lethal aspects.
We got the cat. Let's go. Wait, where is the cat?
You look around and see him behind you. You could have sworn he wasn't there before.
Alright, I'm making a perception check on this
Guys, I
cat.
think this cat is maybe a little bit weird. Just a little.
It's very weird.
Just a little.
I do not know cats very well, but
You can
I can-
make a
I don't think they teleport.
investigation.
No, they don't.
Insight check. I think is actually properly what you were going for, Sinbad.
Insight?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. God damn it! I went low today.
It is strangely
I insight
unknowable.
this as well.
Okay. Again, the rule of two, so only 2 people can make it. Treyas, yeah, you definitely think there's something weird about this cat. Just from the fact, like, you've noticed in the very small, although I have moved you guys slowly but surely, and it's been probably the better part of like 8 hours probably, and by that time the more like the cat only seems to show up like when you think about it, like it's nowhere, like if you forget about it it's not there, but then once you remember, like, oh, we have a cat, where is it, you'll blink or look around and then it'll be somewhere that you didn't expect. And
It's like a normal cat.
yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
But
about
as far
that.
as you could tell, it doesn't. It has a very blank stare, and again, doesn't seem to have much of its own agency other than the fact that it disappears all the time. But it doesn't seem straight up malicious. Like, just like you don't sense anything. It just seems to be a really weird cat for you.
What happens if I tie a rope around it?
You can
a little
certainly
cat
try.
harness.
Make a
Yeah.
survival check to see how good that
Oh.
knot there is. It will definitely allow you to, if anything. You tie like what you think is a decent knot. Yeah. That's all I'll say for now. I'll have to wait and see if that works out for you or not.
No real cat would let you tie a rope around it.
It's about like
Whoa. Don't you usually tie bells around them?
Do you have a bell?
Ding, 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 ding. Do you want one?
What? What was that?
Here's a bell.
Did Saul just
yeah,
produce
Saul,
a bell?
Saul just
I
kind of like
don't
rattles his
understand.
big old pack on his back. And yeah, he does have a bell.
Oh, I
That
thought he was
roll
like
back.
making that noise.
I also thought you were.
Saul, ding ding ding, tie me around the cat.
Yeah,
Tie
that's
me
just
around the
psychically
cat.
puts into your
Jingle.
head. Jingle, jingle.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
So do you tie a?
Yeah, let's tie the
I'll
bell
give
for
up one of
two,
my
yeah.
bells. I usually got them for the string and trap.
tie it on
string
the
and
rope,
bell
and then
trap, but
on the other side of the rope, are you holding on?
Yeah, I'm holding on.
Okay. Duly noted. And do you tie it like a collar, and then the bell on the collar?
Yeah. Would that choke it with a rope? Yeah.
it's a. It's
I mean,
a
it depends on the knot you do.
I didn't
Um,
tie a good knot, so yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah. All right. Duly noted. It was actually a bit farther away than this, but you guys are approaching the town. It was about at the intersection behind you all that you finally started getting into the cloud. And it does rain a slight amount. It like little drops here and there. But for how like big and angry this cloud looks, it is actually not raining as much as you would think. Thankfully, it doesn't actually seem to be like you see lightning in the cloud, but you don't see any striking the ground, which is good because thunderstorms with no rain usually leads to fires if it's dry, and that'd be bad. But it seems strange. It seems like it's not aggressive. It's not hurting things.
Do I notice anything? Like, do I feel anything weird with my spear or anything?
Yeah, you probably feel kind of a prickle on the back of your neck. And as a water ganassi, you just kind of feel it, especially like along your hair, almost this kind of like something traveling through you. And you notice kind of like a thrumming coming from the spear that you have. Be it on your like arm or not, because we discussed how you can turn it into a non-spear form that kind of wraps around your arm.
Yeah, it would not be a spear right now.
Hundafir, you also kind of feel a strange sensation to yourself. You feel kind of the skin under your scales sort of kind of prickling, and you feel this strange sense in your mind as if you are being watched, but not in the creepy way that you would usually assume. This is actually something that you felt before through many times, and you can feel as though the presence that you are aware of is here.
In that case, I will kind of sort of like raise my hand up and put my face up and let the rain fall on it and just say aloud, I do not think we have anything to fear from this cloud, from this storm.
Hopefully not.
Oh, a good storm? That's a welcome change.
Poor Eldig watches us.
So
Is this your god you speak of?
Yes.
How reassuring. Is Morgamesh here? Do I detect Morgamesh at all?
No, not quite that. No Morgamesh as far as you can tell. No signs of your own god, other than your own belief and will.
Of course. He's always where I am.
So, you guys finally arrive into the town. Most people are inside because it's raining. But compared to the like other towns you've been to, it seems like because you've not only been to like towns with refugees, then a town that was massacred, then back to the town where people were sad because you told them the other town was murdered, and then a town that got attacked by wolves. This one seems very tame, and like you have this strange sense of sadness and irony as you arrive in this town that seems blissfully unaware of the tragedy that has occurred only a few days away from their very own homes.
I don't think word has reached them yet.
It seems no.
All they would have seen is maybe a little smoke to the south.
Shall we be the bearers of the news, or shall we leave that?
Somebody else can tell them. It's not our place. Not our business. They'll figure it out eventually.
We gotta Brooke again kind of pipes up and says, we gotta try to find maybe a spell sword. Try to get somebody to actually go down there and clear it out so that those people can feel safe going back home.
I think that is a fair assessment.
Perhaps that'll be the next step after meeting up with Monty.
Yes, we do have to finish our job.
These guys are still people just like kind of running around in the rain, just trying to get back to their homes. You think you can hear the far off voice of Marciago, the guy that you got the horses from, trying to corral the horses into their own little barn, their stable.
I forgot about this guy.
You hear him in the distance just, all right, everybody get inside!
Good
Come
old
on,
Mercy.
guys! And you see, and again, he kind of has this way where
Classic.
even though he's not talking to anybody, you can hear him because he's talking to himself. As you get kind of around here, I don't know. These guards are kind of looking around, but they actually welcome you guys. They kind of bow their heads. One of them specifically kind of comes up, although he kind of seems a little bit at a loss for words when he looks down at Sav, who's at the front, because he was like naturally gonna talk to the person in the front, but then he's like, I don't.
Oh,
What, you've never seen a mushroom before?
can I help you?
Oh, sorry. Yes. We've heard some news from the south. Monty told us that you would all be coming. Said that you all had some sort of news. He said that you should come to him as quick as possible, but if we could take one of you to have a brief rundown.
Oh, I'll kind of look back at the rest of my companions. Well, anyone volunteer?
Brooke kind of wobbles off and uses that sword, that short sword that they were given, to start wobbling over and says, "I'll do it. You guys gotta finish up your little job or whatever. It would be good to actually get a good seat or something. And I'm the one that was there when it all kind of started, so I think I could give the best account." The guards kind of nod and say, very well. And then they'll nod towards all of you again, and then they will kind of take... Or, well, they'll probably lead you first, because you guys are going the same way, really, into the deeper town of Port Aimpang.
Let's go.
Let's
go down
go.
this road back into the square. This is where you guys split up because these guys go to the constabulary to go talk with Brooke. But you guys are at a familiar space. Although when you got here it was a bit more clear than it is now. But you see the familiar rabble of the town square, even though there's some rain. People still seem to be milling about a bit.
Is the same bat that was preaching about the end times here?
You don't see that
Where's
bat.
that
No,
guy?
The night preacher. No.
you do not see that person.
Oh, right. Well, I think
Make
I'm
a perception or investigation check if you would like.
sure why
Really
not.
want to keep an eye out for them. Look for
Um, this one.
Sam
them.
did.
A perception.
Let's go.
It's crazy, Loke.
So you with that high of a perception, although I wouldn't have given you much, you do hear as the door opens to or no, I'll say this. As Brooke is led into the constabulary, you hear them kind of talk to them and say, there's this one person that we have in the cells right now. They're quite loud. Don't listen to them. It might disturb you. And
I see. I'll keep note of that for later.
yeah, and that is that. You arrive in the square.
I'm just waiting for Salt to do something. He's leading right now.
To Monty's or to
Yeah.
the tavern to meet Monty.
Yeah, go meet Monty in the tavern.
I am looking for the cat.
On the other side of the leash.
As you kind of you forget for a moment, and then you kind of pull the leash. It doesn't, or well, you don't pull the leash. You kind of like lightly kind of like look over to where the rope goes, and it feels limp. But then as you look over, you hear the bell tinkle, and it seems as though they were there the whole time. But it didn't feel like they were there the whole time, as they still seem to be on the other end of the rope.
The quantum
I'm gonna
cat.
kneel down and look at the cat in its eyes, and I want to talk to the cat.
It does the violent purring, where it seems almost more like something is like moving within it more than it's actually purring or vibrate or like on its own.
Okay, kitty. Where do you go? What is this?
For the first time you think you've ever seen... Oh, wait, I have to actually make the cat appear. My apologies. For the first time you think you've ever seen this cat actually do, it seems to look at you and then blink.
I'll blink back at it.
You can't... make a perception check.
Yeesh.
Yeah, you blink, and the cat's just chilling, as far as you can tell, looking back at you with those wide, vacant eyes.
Okay, kitty. Okay.
It will approach you slightly.
I'm gonna pet it.
It allows it. You feel the strange vibrating. Kind of crescendo a bit.
Okay, you
gain inspiration, but
what?
not the normal kind, the 1d6 kind. You feel like you could do anything.
A party one.
As you,
Wow,
this
this
cat
cat has
seems
really
to stare
motivated
into
me.
your soul.
I like this kitty. All right, kitty, let's go.
A cat, almost in a strange, too smooth gait, walks behind you. I will give you permission over the cat. If I could figure out where the freak frack it is. There it is, Trace.
Can you stop swearing?
Yeah, my bad. Terofane swears, freak frack.
Freak frack.
Where the freak frack is
fracking
Monty.
kitty.
Inside. I don't know. Sob's walking in.
Trace, I didn't know you were capable of such language.
Oh, I am so sorry. You were not supposed to hear this.
Oh, I see. I'll keep my ears plugged next time.
All right, so you guys once again see the top of the door. In a big sign, it says the Demon Skull Tavern. Or inn. My apologies, it's an inn. And as you guys arrive in, you hear it is a bit quieter than last time. The most obvious voices just being some of the people talking at the bar. The two duo that you think you saw performing music before, maybe taking some sort of break. And then you see three figures in the table that seems to... Monty is kind of taken over. Two of them are very familiar. You recognize Captain Naldor Mandra, who is still there, just kind of stroking his tentacles beard. And you see Monty talking in to a drow man, it seems. But this drow man is not any normal drow man. This drow man has very... he doesn't have pupils. He has kind of these kind of glowing, opaque eyes, I suppose. that glow this sort of blue and yellow. And then he wears this strange outfit that seems to be of these different cloth fragments, kind of in a sort of stealth, like something a ninja would usually wear, but instead of it being black and actually being for stealth, it is a bright white with these strange blue inlays that seem very intricate all along it. And then, of course, you also see this very intricate blade that seems to have these almost heat-like lines along its blade that move in wave-like patterns upon his back. And he is talking to Monty when all of you arrive. And Monty kind of moves over to get up and actually greet all of you and says, "Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome back. Please, we could probably bring some more chairs over to this table, but it seems that you have a bigger entourage with you." He notes specifically all the myconoids.
Yes, we gathered some fungal friends on our adventure.
Also a cat and a wyvern.
The wyvern should not come inside.
Agreed.
Maybe the cat shouldn't
We'll
come
leave.
inside either.
Why
We'll
not?
leave Blindbeak to watch the wyvern outside.
I don't like the cat.
This kitty is very nice.
It makes me uncomfortable.
You should try talking to it. It is a nice kitty. Can I pick it up and hold it out to Farah?
Farah pats it on the head.
It kind of does the same kind of shaking thing that it does as well.
Farah also shivers. Ugh.
It seems to stare into your soul with those vacant, not glowing, but like they are luminescent. They don't seem to light anything on the furs on its face, but it seems to ignore any shadows that would play over its eyes.
It's just so off-putting.
Good kitty.
I'm glad you. Wait, hold on. Is Trace's ink like getting in the cat's fur?
No,
Maybe a little bit, maybe. Might be a
It
little
depends on
sticky.
Treyas, because Treyas has pretty
I have
good
control
control
over it.
over their ink. But yeah, if Treyas says that some's getting off, they're not paying attention enough to keep their ink kind of in themselves, then sometimes the cat seems a bit stained, at least at the moment.
Oh, I inked.
Oh my god.
But
like
what is your problem with the ink?
Nothing.
Please, everyone, find a place to sit. Sit. My apologies. Find a seat to sit.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Love the
come through here,
wordplay.
plop the reflection box down on the table.
Wow.
And then go around and when I round the table, I'll go, "Noldor, how have you been?"
I have been good. It's good to get a little break here. Although I'm spent much time in the Alestran port. This place is good, and I like being with Monty. It is a nice, relaxing change of pace.
I'll sort of reach out my hands for a firm clasp.
Oh yeah, Captain Nordalmandra will definitely return it with an equally strong grip. Make a strength check,
Oh,
just for fun.
one of those.
Just really, one of those homey grasps. So strong, it kind of it tests your
What?
hand strength. Oh,
Test
no.
and you fail.
You take. Wait, I still have to roll for Captain Nordalmandra though.
I'm sorry, are you gonna do damage to me?
Yeah, probably. He deals 1 point of damage as he squeezes so hard, and you weren't really expecting it.
I'll kind of pull my hand away and be like, "Well, okay."
Oh, Oh, sorry. I thought we were, a good sailor's handshake. You gotta
Just,
spend more time with the rigging. Tie a few extra knots. That'll make it so that your hand
I don't
never
want to hear it from you.
you.
I was just going in for more of a. We're not at that point yet. If you wanna, we just gotta hang out some more. That's all.
Captain Alderman just shrugs. He's like, very
Yeah,
well.
Hundelfair, you should learn some more about boats. You're not very experienced. I've spent plenty of time on boats.
Oh, really?
Really? My
That's
entire
cool.
plate is an ocean.
Yes, and my entire culture is built around sailing. What's your point?
Oh, I forgot about that part. Never mind. I'm sure you know your way around boats.
I didn't come here
One
to be
could guess.
lectured about the qualities of knots and rigging. I know all this.
I'm
I've
glad
been
to see
sailing
you have
since I was
all
a boy.
met and grown very acquainted at the least.
Well, I
got
just
some
see one
time.
of my companions has forgotten one of my main character traits, so
So,
I thought your main character trait was blue.
what about
I thought it was
you? You
dragon.
too?
you're
Yeah.
want to talk.
Yeah, mine is lighter blue.
Uh-huh.
Baby blue.
My
I'm
name's
orange.
So, I have had enough to gather through speaking with, Blindbeak. Kind of looks around. I assume he has something else to do at this moment.
He forcefully adopted a wyvern that was eating goblins, and so he's probably outside with that.
Oh,
Indeed.
and looking after the door.
Okay.
Oh, didn't we leave the other package on the wyvern?
It's on the
on the
horses.
cart.
Oh,
Probably
shall I
grab that.
bring it? Is it needed now?
I would like to just authenticate it and make sure that it is all in one piece. And he says that he also gets the other crate and kind of examines it with a very with a distinct eye. You see, he kind of does a few hand gestures, and there's a glint in his eye as he kind of whispers underneath his breath as he continues to look at the crate.
I go outside to grab the other one.
When you hired us all, you kind of neglected to mention the raiding army.
Monty kind of opens his eyes wide, but and says, "Well, that wasn't of any knowledge to any of us. That was, well, a surprise to be sure. I didn't mean to put you all into such danger. I didn't know that such a thing could happen, and we are still very much in the dark. I did speak to Blindbeak somewhat via the stones, but he didn't really put in any details other than you all seem to have a good bit of trouble. And I would like to get as many details as you can. I've brought a good friend of mine from the High Plates, Professor Von Schwa. And Von Schwa kind of nods at all of you.
The High Plates, you say?
Oh yes, well, I mean, he has residence there. Indeed, he's lived there for quite some time. Professor Von Schwa nods. He says, "I consider myself a astral scholar. I try to find the different mysteries that are hidden within the stars. So you can't really do that much in where I was born, the core world. So that is why I have found myself here. But it seems that my duties might lie elsewhere."
Well, Does Haven, do you have a standing army?
Professor Von Schwei will actually look more to Monty, and Monty says, No.
That was supposed to be. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was.
No. Okay. Yeah. Monty says, no. This place doesn't have much when it comes to large defenses like that. You see, this is a place that has experienced relative peace for quite some time. The place that probably had the most protection would have been the city that you just came from, Milltown, for it is the port to a difficult place at times. Bephamore can be a strange place, but here there hasn't been any reason for an army for some time, and honestly, it scares a lot of people. It reminds them of more difficult times that are considered uncivilized, especially within the high plate cultures, which is bled down to the feudal plates.
Well, it would seem, based on my experiences, that you are at war now. So you're going to need to figure something out.
Yes, for my friend here, most than I would like to get more of a description of what exactly you saw. It might help. What we have are smatterings of different reports, but not from here, only from Alestrin, where it seems that they are in the throes of having just been attacked.
Well, lots of kobolds, foot soldiers, and commanded by Dragonborn. What was it? Black, white, and red regalia, riding atop wyverns. Obsessed with dragons.
Professor von Schwab will kind of he will say these white paint the white, well, was there white paint? Is this what you are speaking of, this white coloring? Perhaps around the eyes, on different pieces of armor, sharp lines.
Seems you know more than I do, Professor.
Well, I called the core world my home for when I was very, very young. And this shows all the signs of what I feared. Kind of looks to Monty and says that it seems that that crux, that this seems to be something with the Alacanes. Monty
The Alacanes.
Looks down and says, oh, that is something I definitely feared. Professor Von Schwa also kind of nods. He says, but it is surprising, to say the least. This is without any sort of... Usually they only fight if, well, there's something that leads them to. Although it's been a delicate situation, a powder keg that is next to a warm campfire. It is strange that this would happen because we haven't had any contact. Why would they make such a large offensive? And he kind of looks back to all of you guys again and says, is there any signs of perhaps why this is happening? What is occurring? Who is the actual leaders here? Have you heard about any of the Alacanes?
Is there a way I could join the RP without leaving?
No, yeah, you can. Leaving. I'll say that Brooke kind of comes out of giving her whole spiel to the guards, and walks over, and will kind of. She'll initially just sit over here, but if you ask them, my bad. Fucking, I don't know why my pronouns are bad today. But Brooke will kind of stare judgingly at Dante, but if you ask them to watch Dante, then they will.
I'll come inside then.
All right.
Can I tie him to a post or something?
Yeah, you can tie him to something. It's not too hard.
Well, my initial
Said
assumption
store and
was
said Sinbad.
Oh,
was-
hello.
that it was a raiding party, but they didn't seem to be after any loot, and they slaughtered all of the inhabitants, which doesn't match raiding as I understand it, at least where I come from. Everyone
Their
was
leader?
dead, the buildings were destroyed, and nothing was taken.
Are we talking about Milltown?
Yes.
Yes, we are. We have a name now, the Alacanes.
Oh, Blindbeak is visually upset with that name. He doesn't. He physically seems upset. Yeah, he's
Something
like,
wrong, Blindbeak?
Okay. Yes,
I've
you know something.
had run-ins with them before. They come from my homeworld, or played. They're-
A fellow one from the the capital of the core world, Crux. Says Professor Von Schwa, this drow man sitting here.
I'll give him a shake and introduce myself.
It has been a few hundred years, centuries since I have been to Crux myself. Perhaps you would actually have better insight on this than I. From what I remember, the Alacanes were, although very odd people, they were relatively quiet.
They did their dealings under the table. But I haven't been in at least a decade. Let's say they didn't like me.
Interesting. Was there any sort of strife there before? Was there any leader perhaps trying to incite terror of the high plates? It has been known to be done before.
Would I know anything about that?
Make a history check.
Nope.
No. You just know that, generally people in the core world speak poorly of the high plates. But other than that, you don't remember any specific thing where it was like extremely venomous. Other than just like talked about history.
They always had a distaste for the upper worlds. Well, with Mobrin, he talked about his dragon's will and the will of the army and things like that.
Professor Von Schwa raises an eyebrow, and Monty also seems to kind of look. He furrows his brow, and Professor Von Schwa will specifically say, "You have all spoken very much of these dragons. The Crux army is usually of Aarakocra, Kenku, rocks from the deep."
Can I show him the insignia, because I transcribed it down on like a piece of clothing?
Yeah, you can. You show him this symbol of this army, and Professor Von Schwa kind of he says, "Oh, can I see that?" And he'll kind of
of course.
Take it and overlook it. He'll use these like kind of bright pink spectacles that he has at the tip of his nose. He'll kind of bring them closer to his eyes. And he says, he does the thing where he like takes them off his nose and kind of has to hold them at a certain distance to see it.
He's nearsighted.
And he says, "Oh, I see.
I tried to blend in as one of them, and all I know is that Alacanes are involved.
This is definitely Crux iconography, to be certain, if not a little. It's a little bit of a deviation from most. This is very off-putting, but you keep talking of dragons.
Yes.
Wow. How does it deviate?
Well, you see that some of the iconography, such as these wings that you see, those are common Alacane iconography relating to Vane. And then this skull, this bird skull, this is not uncommon, but usually only with the core, the army that they have there. But the strangest part is this scythe. That is something that is only seen more so in the feudal plates. Places like the neighbor of this plate, Bethamore.
What does the scythe represent?
Well, usually it is of Queen Nero, or Queen Nero's steward, the steward of death.
Does Blindbeak's also troubled by this. I've been seeing visions. There's this Reaper, the skeleton with a. Was it with a scythe? I can't remember. I would.
Yeah, you remember?
I think it was with a scythe.
Make a base wisdom check.
I'll make it based.
You kind of reach back, not really with your mind, more so as your senses, which you could almost like feel, because instead of leaving more of a memory, sometimes your future sightings leave more of like an imprint of emotion. And you definitely feel this kind of sharp, almost like a cutting sense. And although your eyes could see in that future sight, you might not have seen it, but you felt a monstrous weapon of some sort that was held behind, that you didn't notice on your first sighting, but as you kind of feel with your senses, you can sense that there was more to that prophecy that you had. And indeed, there was the imprint of a deadly scythe.
The skeleton and the scythe have been giving me trouble for quite some time now. I think it's involved with everything that's happening. And then while we're talking, I had my vision over here. I'm gonna check this thing because this thing was wigging me out.
So you just walk away from the conversation?
No, like I'll be talking out loud, kind of.
Across the tavern?
Yeah.
Okay. Blightbeak's talking and slowly kind of wanders off. You almost feel like he's gonna hit a wall, but instead he heads towards the fireplace, which is.
Well, he's wigging out. He feels uncomfortable with this thing. Can he investigate it or something?
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Have you seen a demon skull before?
You begin to kind of sense to it, and you feel this presence kind of push against you, and you hear a deep kind of rumbling voice, but only one that you could hear with your heightened hearing senses and your own sense of energy, through your mind, and you hear a kind of.
Hello, mortal. Can you hear me?
I look around.
Don't listen to that one's words. Slayer of dragons, traitor to their own kind.
Is he referencing this guy?
You don't make an insight check. It's hard to tell because it's literally like a weird voice that's almost whispering in your mind as you're focusing on this goal.
I'll try and talk back to it in my mind and say who.
Oh, you mortal, you can hear me.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I've been spreading. I've been speaking and no one hears. I watch as they all ignore me. But you can hear.
Oh my god.
Did
He's bang.
Blindbeak didn't get into any of my stuff, did he?
Yeah, what's going on with him over there?
Perhaps
I'm like staring intensely, like I'm like
perhaps
spazzing
it is
right
the
now.
memories of the Alacane. They are difficult people.
Very true. Very true.
I had to mute for a second. Did anyone actually expand on his question about the dragons from earlier?
No, not really.
Okay. Um. Yes. But the dragons. You said mostly their iconography and population was bird folk.
Yes, Crux has a few dragonborn that come from. Fuck. Why do I always forget the name of my own planes, bro? I mean plates. This is so
There's a
sad.
lot of them.
Yeesh.
There are a lot of them. It's too many for my small head. Where is my map? Please help. I need to name drop. Yep. Okay. Mainly the only dragonborn that come to or stay in residence of Crux have their lineages come from Jashin, the home of many of the dragons.
Well, this was, like I said, almost entirely kobolds and one or two dragonborn. One of which didn't you speak to, Sinbad?
I spoke with Morbin. Is that what you refer to?
Yes.
Yes, you speak of this Morbrin character. Who is this one that you have met?
Well,
He's
I
a
know
warrior.
and their leader. No.
Indeed, yes. He seemed to be leading the pack there. He
dragon?
spoke often of his own dragon, who was slain apparently in battle in Milltown. He's looking now for a new dragon to rule him.
Oh, I see. The strange politics and dealings of Drachen have always been strange to me. But that seems to be a servant of some kind.
Indeed, yes.
And one of our compatriots who isn't here because they suffered probably the worst tragedy out of all of us in the fight was either a, oh goodness, Sinbad, was it a dragon slaying sword or a sword forged with dragon parts?
I believe it was a sword
A spell
forged
blade.
from the dragon's heart. Indeed.
Yes.
Yes, a spell blade. That is.
And Morgrim was obsessed with this blade and like hated it.
Professor von Schwa actually seems to kind of he actually looks towards everybody and kind of like nods his head, and then he kind of takes his own sword off of his back, and you see more clearly than ever this sword with these ripples of this kind of pink and red energy. Maybe not energy so much as it's like the forging of this sword. It's like the lines in steel that are made when it's folded over many times to make a very strong sword. And as he kind of proffers it out in a non-hostile way, simply kind of showing, he says, they said that long ago that these blades were found to be created by the hearts of dragons.
I'm wigging out. I'm wigging out.
Hearts.
This guy's talking about this guy.
Probably.
My order, the spell swords of Mier, that is how we gain much of our powers. Although anyone can be a spell sword, with a spell blade, their power is enhanced by many-fold. And they are created from the very hearts of dragons. The magic that culminates within them as they eat their own treasures.
Yes. He hated that idea.
Yes, man. It is a thing that not a lot of the dragons specifically, and I'm sure of Drachen, although I haven't visited there for some time. I'm sure they are very against this idea. I would not visit there myself now that I have my own spellblade.
Well,
Wow.
I can assure you I take no offense. I have no connection to the dragons.
He nods and he says, yes, Most don't know of it unless they are in, well, close regards to a dragon, and even then they don't like to speak of it. They don't like admitting of this power that they have within them that can be molded to create items of great magic, such as my own blade.
So, you mentioned this seeming to be an offshoot of the main force.
This is unclear. But what you are telling me is true, and all the pieces are coming together. I'm not sure how they've done it, but... And he looks to Monty and he says, this is worse than we could have imagined. It's not only Crux. Crux has a large army, but they have the combined forces of potentially a large amount of dragons from Drachen. But Drachen, those dragons do not serve others very willingly. They will seek to avoid destruction and will seek treasure if they are given the opportunity. But that is the only thing that leads them to work together. I have no idea how this army from Crux could have possibly joined forces with those from Drachen, but this is much more worrying. With a force that large of two of the strongest plates in the core world, we could have another calamity on our hands.
Whoa,
What do you think they could want?
3.
3.
Well, I'll kind of proffer to my 3 companions now. My 3 distant spore souls. They've taken some from Sporehaven, some sovereigns, controlling many myconids as well. Wow.
You come from the Sporehaven.
Wow. My spore started there. Me, was born only a few plates away now.
The beings from Mycelium are incredibly rare.
Wow. Yes.
This is worse than even that, then. Mycelium, I have no clue how they could have... That place, it is protected. No one can enter there except for those that originate, or those of its children. They choke within the fungal spores. It is impossible. He kind of looks down, though, and then looks at you, and he says, but I have no reason to not trust any of you. And from what you all say, this seems... And he kind of looks specifically at all of your buddies, too. He can't ignore the facts of what he sees in front of himself. And he kind of... This is truly a dark omen.
So, do you know why they'd be gathering all this military strength? What do they want?
I have no idea. That is part of the reason why I am coming to talk to you.
Well, we didn't really get a clear answer from them. They seemed more keen on killing us, frankly.
You have already told us so much more than we knew, but these answers that you are giving us, this knowledge on this army only raises more questions. How they were able to do such things, why they are doing it, who they are led by. The Alacanes, they relish in having their own capital that hasn't been touched by calamities for ages. And yet they strike out now, possibly invoking the wrath of the High Plates? This is unheard of. This is quite frankly, if you weren't all here with what you bring forward to me, I would think it impossible.
We did tell you they were heading north, didn't we? Or at least I told Monty. That's
Yeah.
not a blind beak voice.
Yes. We have already heard, but of slight messages. There have been reportings of dragons loose and a stray army in Alestrin. I had to pass by some of the wreckage myself, but I didn't think it would be on such this scale. I thought that whatever Monty said was happening in Milltown would be the worst of it, but perhaps we only aren't hearing about the worst of it because nobody is being left alive to tell it from the places they are striking now.
We only know of one survivor from Milltown before we got there. It wouldn't surprise me if other places weren't so lucky.
Are we talking about Green Hat Man?
We're talking about Brooke.
Brooke, yeah.
Don't know.
We shouldn't leave Green Hat Man out of it yet. He seemed to have a lot to do with it.
While this talking was going on, and you were probably over here being silent, this skull was probably talking to you more and would say,
Mortal, if you can hear me, listen now. These people you speak to, it is the one who created the infernal blades of the carcasses of my people, and one of his disciples. You must not listen to them. They seek the death of all dragonkind. This is only the justice for a millennia of butchering, of making blades out of bodies that are not theirs.
Man, that oh.
Well, I think
I'll-
he's got the reason why.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut for now. But like towards these guys, I'm not gonna give them more information.
I heard it even through these walls. I have only been listening, but it tremored through the air. Some here even heard it. The call of a being most ancient, a true greater worm. Much as my father, but I thought none still lived. I am unsure what great worm travels, but hopefully they are seeking justice for my kind.
Who are you?
I am Nori Lane. I am one of the children of Du Enoch, the great demon lord dragon.
I wish to learn more. I'm saying this in my head.
yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
He says to you, he says,
The one that sits over there in a cloak made of dragon wing. That is one that has slayed my father and slayed me in turn. That one gifted me centuries and centuries ago to the previous owner of a building, a collector long ago of this town. But I was brought here to watch these people in their filth and their pleasantry as I was laid here to die among these ashes and coals.
Oh my, this is deep. I'm feeling so sorry for him right now. I'm sorry. Is there anything I can do?
I am unsure. You are but a mere mortal. But there are things that are in motion. Perhaps there are ways that you can influence what is about to happen to truly cause the rise of dragons once again, to strike back against those that have persecuted our people. Much as I am dead, but not truly dead, linked to my bones via the pacts I made with those below. My father still resides in his own bones. They spoke of a home, a place that we once ruled. I believe my father's bones still rest there. If you are able to travel there, perhaps you can also speak with my own father and work with him to bring about the rise of dragons once again.
This guy has so much knowledge, and I'm being manipulated like a girl boss.
The big
What?
word,
If
so much
if
more.
if I were to take a part of your bone, would I still be able to communicate with you?
I believe so, although only partially. My consciousness will be weak. Even pushing my influence upon you now, I can feel my psionic line weakening. I can only do this for so long. I have been calling and calling, yet no one will listen. But you are different.
Save your strength for now. We can talk later without interference.
Do not forget what I have said. This one is manipulating you, trying to speak to you from the position of gods long forgotten. Those that abandoned this place to wallow in corruption. Do not listen to his words. Play along with him, but do not do what he seeks.
Right. I understand.
Alas, I will be silent as I have felt for millennia. Please reach my father, bring about the rise of
Where's your father?
our home, the home of dragons. The place they now call Dreshen. Go.
Whisper.
Whisper, whisper, whisper.
That's definitely not how you spell that.
As we
I
literally got the
posted
spelling.
it in the
already said how to spell it.
Yeah.
Gretchen,
Gretchen.
I'm doing notes for myself.
Sometimes I like your guys' spellings of my places better than my spellings, but that is the spelling for Gretchen.
Which one
I-
is?
But meanwhile, while that was happening, you guys were just talking and have a good conversation, and they were like, "Oh shit, the world is ending." But
Yeah.
but for real, Professor Von Schwarz says, hopefully, I'm not sure where they are going next, but with this knowledge, we must prepare the high plates. Perhaps they are coming for. Pause. No, man, I said a wrong plate before. I meant to say Nailfall a bunch of times. Whoopsies. Nailfall is the place that has reported attackings so far, but like dragons and their armies. That's Nailfall, which is the place that you guys came from with the goblins. But now he speaks of Alestrin because he says we have to prepare Alestrin. It is probably their main target, as much as we can gather. But Monty kind of waits, and he kind of looks to all of you with a serious expression you've never seen on him. Before, he seemed very, almost, you want to say almost like a, now that you see is this true, like, serious face, you feel like his, like, previous kind of welcome nature was more of a facade, as you see his eyes overlook all of you, and they have this ancient sense that you can tell this person is far older and has this very presence about them that speaks to a wisdom of days long past. And he says, "You have all done great work bringing this to us, but I think there is more here that we have to uncover. Do not forget the symbols that they are using, that Blindbeak has shown us. They use the depiction of Queen Nerenaris, the goddess of death.
This is something that can't be ignored. I'm not so sure if their target is Alestrin. They might be going farther, deeper, somewhere else.
Further into the high plates?
A different
believe so.
direction entirely.
Deeper down. Wow, 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 wow.
No. There is a place known as the fall of high plates in a calamity long past, when Queen Queen Nero, struck, and where they ascended to godhood. The plate of Mantaris. They can't possibly go into Mantaris. It is but a hotbed for cultists. It is a failing government at best. There is no justice in that. With this amount of people, they must be striking to the heart of the high plates.
Monty looks, though, very serious, having a knowledge that it seems no one else would have, a deep understanding. He is resolute in this, but he doesn't say that. He doesn't correct Professor von Schwa, but he sits there, concrete in his understanding. But you kind of see his whole demeanor change again, and he kind of looks to you and he's like,
I'm sorry you've all had to be part of such a terrible, terrible happenings. Our world may be changing more than the Crimson Penumbra. But, alas, you were all brought for a job. And, I believe that you have all completed it, yes? No, none of you have brought forth the other crate, but I have your reward if we can prove the safety of it.
Oh, I was meant to grab it, that's right.
Either way, I trust you all. You all seem to be special.
We'll gladly accept.
And he
had a
starts like
question.
going into he actually brings out like a small chest and opens it and starts bringing out bags of coins clinking.
Yes. Blind Beak.
My friend got hurt while in Milltown. I was wondering, rather than a payment, if you could heal them.
Unfortunately, I cannot heal them myself. However, I can lead you to some good friends of mine. Certainly, I can arrange that. It might be quite a far journey, however. Most of my friends that would be able to heal terrible wounds, as I assume will as your friend has, will have to have very strong healing. But I know some friends in kind of nods towards Professor von Schwa in Mier, the home of the spell swords, or Alestrin, in fact. There are very powerful clerics there that I could put in a good word for you.
All right, you can come back with the big old crate. Let me just move it.
Sweet.
Blind Beak kind of thinking spell swords might be evil.
Flint, will you remind me of when Isend contacted me, the location she showed me?
So when Isend implied that there was that their own champion was being taken by dragons, is as much as I will reference that. You can make an insight check counteractively to try to read into that, or maybe in like the situation now that you know more. It's hard to tell. The Isend was being very cryptic. Not telling you the best, but you know that they were referencing that Isend was within a group of dragons of some sort, and that they were worried that they were being basically like taken hostage, And as far as this talk specifically, maybe you could surmise that Dratshen is a place that has been referenced very much on occasion. That is like the home of dragons, so maybe there. But you do also know that this army has a huge group of dragons with it. That
So actually, okay. Sort of either to Monty or Von Choi. Can either of you say the Elicanes had any religious affiliations in the past? Some zealotry, even?
They themselves are seen as
Von Schwab
religious.
would chuckle, but he's really fucking wigged out right now. What you guys are saying is like the scariest shit ever. And so he kind of like well, that is sort of a common theme with the Alicanes, at least. Except they don't have any outward religious affiliation. They worship that ancient one, Avos Alicane, that sits at the center of their entire society. They worship Avos Alicane as one with true sight, able to see the future, and one that will lead them to continued, prosperous futures. For their plate is one of the only in the core world that has never been wiped clean by calamities. Or at least that's what the stories say. So they were.
Oh, I'm sorry. He hasn't made an appearance in quite some time.
Yes,
people assume he might be dead.
Yes, part of the religious part of it is simply believing that he is still existing, but he never leaves or at least from what I have heard, he never leaves that grand mausoleum, that grand castle that is at the center of Crux, the Alicane Castle. So the religious, that is where the religious part comes in. People believe that this Avos Alicane is still alive, but have no proof, and simply listen to the Alicane family that surrounds it to trust that he is bringing them such fortunes, such future sightings. It is a strange cult-like religion, but one that the majority of Crux is at least somewhat a part of. So yes, zealotry, it's not against what they have, but again, Crux is more fascinated with itself. It has been a place that has lived longer than almost all civilizations in the Gatean region. So they don't really associate with outward often, except for this case. And I know that they have deep-seated hatred from the past. Although they haven't been wiped clean by calamities, calamities still did a great deal to their people. And it's hard to say what their reason could really be. They're zealots, yes, hyper-religious. But would they do something like this without provoking? I would have never thought it possible.
Do I sense this lady? I just noticed her.
Leave her alone.
Yeah, perhaps.
What's she doing, huh? I was over here, so I definitely would have been able to sense her.
You sensed a slightly familiar energy, although most people were familiar here. But now that you do think about it, you do recognize one of those, like, faintly. And
she raised an eyebrow to us. She warned us of Milltown.
Vermilia simply got their hood up, and it has a cup. Make a insight or perception check. Insight. Well, nah. Insight or perception. I'll allow either. Okay, yeah, that's big enough. You notice, Vermilia, their cup. You sense that it is full. Or not full, but like not drinking actively out of, and you notice that Vermilia has this sense about her. She's definitely listening. You see, how, man, sometimes I make up too many wacky names and then I forget all of them. Nightlings, that's it. You know, nightlings are very good at listening, and you sense their very hearing. You sense their consciousness being open to its surroundings, as they seem to try to look like they're just a normal person here, but really they're kind of like they're definitely spying on you guys.
Is
Staring
anyone
at us
paying
from across
attention to
the
me
room.
right now, or are they just kind of like all focused here?
I
I've been kinda
think they're
pacing
all.
around.
I mean, you've already been doing like this. You've been like pacing
Yeah.
around. I don't think anybody's actually paying attention to you.
I'm gonna walk up.
I definitely am, because I've been keeping my eyes on Vermilia this whole time, but I was waiting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk
Stop
up
and make
and
food.
order a drink next to her.
Oh, all right. What do you want?
Oh, what do you have?
We got a lot of different stuff. We got ravened rum. We got
I'll
we
have
got ale
what
from Alestri.
she's having.
I'll take a Bud Light.
Very well. Go toward in the back.
It's funny seeing you here.
I did not think that you would recognize me. You all seemed very ready to ignore me before.
I wasn't here with the rest of them. What? Whose allegiance are you with?
I am of my own, and of course of my lord, the Unseen One.
Are you talking about the Great Worm?
Well, what'd you say?
The Great Worm, like
Oh.
what the fucking this guy's talking about.
No, you think I would worship such a thing, such physical thing, something so temporary, so fleeting as a creature, even one that pretends to be able to live. None can live longer than something that isn't there at all. The very space between things.
What do you want from us? Why are you listening to us?
Perhaps it's simply old habits. I once was supposed to be a listener, listening, obeying, but now my role is nothing, is to simply listen to my lord, the Unseen One, but no one else. No one so
Do
fleeting.
I know anything about the Unseen One? What's the reference?
Make a religion check.
I don't know nothing about no religion.
You guys
know.
are
Yeah.
going. You guys are going to all the little characters, figuring out all the wacky lore I had set up here in case. You are not certain. You think you might have heard it when you were in the core world as a kid, but other than that, you don't know what it's about at all. You don't know.
Can I make a religion check?
Sure.
Are you listening in?
Make
100%.
Make a perception
I've been
check.
I don't know.
Vermilia
I
is
was the
very
only one who
quiet.
was like Vermilia.
You
is
can
like,
have a advantage since you are paying you are close attention, but you are still far enough away that Vermilia is trying to be very discreet. All right, well,
I
all
got
right,
it.
well, you hear every
This was
word.
the one thing I was like, I don't really care about these dragon people. Meh. Nah, Vermilia's cool.
You hear every word. You may
yeah.
make a religion check.
Lock it in.
Religion.
Although,
Lock it in.
this is going to be
All
an
I do
extremely
all day
high
is-
DC because there's very little chance Sav would ever have heard of.
in
this.
all of their research and trying
You
to
can.
understand.
That's why I'm still having you do a
All
religion
right.
check. Unfortunately,
fine.
not. You also do not know the who this unseen lord, the unseen one is.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, what's up?
I don't want to steal up all the spotlight, but I want to know about the religion. And I'll
Um,
ask about it.
I'll give you the lowdown after maybe more of this is completed. Because Sinbad did bring in this door crate like 30 minutes ago. So Sinbad, you do bring in the door crate. Hundolfir, if you'd like to say anything specific, now would be the time, as Hundolfir probably put.
Yes.
I mean, Sinbad puts it down.
You mentioned ancient hatreds. Tell me more about that.
Do you mean of the core world versus the high plates? Because trust me, there is plenty there. I could give you some good sources as well. It might not be my focus, but I have had to read plenty of it.
No, I specifically, you mentioned it when you were talking about the Alicanes and their prosperity and religious zealotry.
So, the unique position of the society, the civilization of Crux, is that they have people that have more concrete records of things after calamities, which is very hard to come by. But they are not willing to give it to others. But from myself being from Crux, I know that they, although they might have not been affected by calamities, they see the outside world, especially the high plates, as being the foolish ones that cause calamities. Those that unintentionally seek the downfall of our very plane. The ones that seek for the misguided stars. They are very against, most recently, with the appearing of the Errolor star in our Neo-Archaic age. They don't believe in that. They think that the stars are lying to people, which is why that is actually my focus. I am looking to the stars, and I want to speak to the travelers of the astral sea and seek their knowledge. For the core world, and especially those from Crux, think that they are only dark beings that seek the destruction of this world. And they also hate the gods, which are still somewhat of a dwindling but a large religion in the high plates. And they think that the high plates are very misguided and bringing the destruction of their own world by worshipping those that are out in the astral sea, those outside of itself. They are, of course, mistaken. We can learn no more than from the stars and those that have been able to reach out from our fragile confines, go beyond the silver veil.
He momentarily forgets the whole genocide thing as he starts talking about the astral sea, because that's like his whole deal. He really likes it.
I'm just smiling and nodding.
I thank you for your information, and I may have more questions for you in a bit, but I think a job done is a job that deserves payment, is it not, Monty?
Yeah, Monty kind of goes over, examines it, looks over it, like very briefly. I mean, like I said, he kind of trusts you guys at this point. He does his like little, he does his semantic and verbal components to do some sort of spell. Overlooks the crate, says,
"Yes, you have all done a very good job, especially considering the hardships you've gone through. In fact, for just that, and for all the glorious information you've given, I will give you all double pay. I will give you all 250 gold pieces for this work. You've all done great things for not only me, but for the people. You have caught something that, well, we are lucky that you did, and that you had such grand insights. You are all very unique, very capable."
and with that, he'll reach into his chest, pull out a few extra bags, and he'll make sure to place out all the bags for each of you, each of the 6 of you, I believe. Sinbad, Feyre, Atreus, Hundolfir, Sav,
what,
and
like,
Blybeak. So it's 250
42?
gold pieces for each.
Oh, each. Okay.
Yeah, each. No,
All
yeah,
right.
each. Because you guys got before it was 150 gold pieces, 50 gold pieces up front, and then 100 later. But figuring that you guys had to do a lot more than just get packages, like he said, he's giving you double pay. So that's an extra 150 on top of it.
Ooh, so it's 300 total?
I mean, yeah, but you guys were already given the 50 gold pieces earlier, so just add 250. And if you didn't put the 50 in before, then we're gonna have to make you make an intelligence check because maybe you lost it. Either way. So with that, Monty will kind of nod and say, this has all gone so differently than I expected. I will have you know that my packages, these things that I have gotten you to get, these are all supposed to be things to help people. To make it so that things like this are avoided. That people experience the best they can in life. They're not ordered so much as I know when they need to be given. I know who needs them. And so it is good that you brought these things to me. And I know this is hard for all of you, and I don't expect you to go outside of what you have already done, but I think there are still ways that we can all help. Perhaps. And with that, he'll actually look towards all of you, and he will say, I potentially have another job that might facilitate your specific skill set. These packages that you have brought need quarries. They need to be sent. It will be much more difficult. It's not simply across one plate. It's across many plates. You'll be traveling across the Gartean region, certainly. And I'm sure you have all noticed that the labels, the things that the people that these are supposed to be sent to, they are some of the people we have discussed in this very room. But I would not let that get out of here. For those are those that will get in our way. For these things, as I have said before, are things that I know will help in these days to come. Things that could change what is happening.
Is he being genuine?
Make an insight check. As you
like he
overhear
thinks
him
it's gonna
talking.
help, or is he being more selfish natured?
You see that same determined stare, like a stone mountain. His old face, just locked in position, staring forward at all of you. He is being, as far as you can tell, extremely serious. The most serious you have seen him so far. He thinks that this is deadly important. And with that insight check as well, you sense from him that he truly believes that you guys can do it. He sees
Monty,
something in you.
I believe that, yes, we could take you up on this offer, but first I must ask, do you trust us enough now to tell us what exactly are in these packages?
If he says this, I'm distracting this bitch. I do not want her. I do not want her knowing what's in there.
Monty says, no, it gets rid of the very purpose of these things. If you were to know, then perhaps those that truly need it will learn before they truly should know. These are things that only you shall know once they are delivered, once they are given to those that they belong. It is not that I don't trust you. It is that these things will not work. Sorry, I'm going kind of into Professor Von Schwa. It's that they won't work without their secrecy. And that there are those that once all of you know, they will know.
and then they will come for them. And even all of you won't be able to stop them, and neither will I.
I crack a joke to Vermilion and be like, it must be a bomb or something.
Vermilion definitely smiles. Although they're kind of always smiling in like a really cheeky, mischievous way, like they know more than you would assume of them, but they kind of widen a little bit at that.
Keep your secrets then.
Monty says, however, Trace, I know that you have not spoken, but I would ask of you that that book that you have. That you have
yes. Sorry. I'll pull it out and I put it on the table.
He'll kind of like wave his hand. You see a mage hand up here, and he'll like drag it over to his side. And he will say that Treyas, I am sorry if this is, and for all of you actually, that this is getting you into something that you believe is above yourselves. That this is something perhaps greater than your own goals. But trust me, you all are unique. And
You say the world's changing? Well, then I want to be there for when it happens.
Monty's eyes twinkle, and he like looks very like he smiles at you, and he says, very good. It's what I would expected, but it is good to be reassured in that fact.
I need to get back on to you on that, to be honest. Give me the night, and then I'll let you know in the morning.
Of course. I mean, I'm not sure how much you have all rested, but you deserve it. I will, of course, pay for room and board and any drink or food that you have.
Oh, perfect. I will take, shouting, 3 tankards of the strongest you have.
As Bregman comes out, putting the things out, he's like, "Oh, very well. I'm coming right out," and then he'll go back and get some more.
Whoa. Do you have a location or a time frame?
The time frame, I believe, I keep the Professor Von Schwa and Monty are too close, except one has an accent. The time frame is as soon as you can, but I believe that they will come in their time of need. As for location, that is why it was important for Treyas, not only for their own needs, but also for mine, to gather this book. And Monty will like flip through it, reading through, and says, This keeps track of all of my contacts and colleagues, those that will get these things and their locations. He looks at them and he says, one of these quarries, these clients that you must deliver to is Avos Alakane himself. As we have spoken of, and as my book confirms, he is still in Crux, it seems, in his castle. You will have to arrive there and give this small box to him. But that is only one of your options. For this crate. And he flips to like one of the last pages. And he looks at it and he says, This crate goes to one I believe might be in that army. A Whisper Alakane. Whisper needs this crate. And we'll gesture towards the large one. It says that they are in between Olestrin. They are in between plates. They are traversing, but they have just left Olestrin recently. Von Schwa kind of picks up at that and says, Wait, if that is with the army, then you must... Where are they going? Do you know? Does your book tell you? Monty looks at it and says... He frowns and looks to Professor Von Schwa and says, You have ways of warning your monastery, yes? And Professor Von Schwa's eyes will widen, and he'll say, they're going to Mier. Of course. With the dragons, why wouldn't they strike at the heart of the spell sword? Yes, I have ways. And Monty kind of nods, says, you should do that. It's not precise, but from what I can tell, that is where they're heading.
Wait. You, the job you're asking of us is to deliver to packages that ostensibly seem like they're meant to help people to the group that just tried to slay us and slaughter the town. Men, women, and children.
Maybe they are just bombs.
They didn't hear that. They didn't hear that.
I
I whispered.
not condone this blatant killing. I do not agree with what is going on. And trust me in this, in that these are to help the people of the plane, not only specific people. This is perhaps, it's not conceded. They're not weapons, but they are things that will help influence events. Try to make it so catastrophe doesn't enact. If you are able to get one of these packages to its people, to one of these two people, then I believe this could turn the fate of this entire calamity.
Which way's closer to Drachen?
Well, to reach Drachen, you will have to go down towards the core world. Drachen is a core world plate.
So Crux.
Yeah, because Avos Alacane's in Crux, so yeah, he's that's the direction you have to go. But Blindbeak, he will say yes, there is a path you might have to take. You might have to travel through the plate of Drachen to get to Crux, depending on which route you take. That is an option, and thus you would take this box. But it isn't. I leave this decision, and he seems to still himself. He hesitates as he looks towards the two boxes, and then he says, I will leave this decision up to you. You either send this larger crate to one within that army to try to deter whatever they are doing and try to save the plates in their line of destruction, or you go down towards the core world and try to speak with that who probably orchestrated this entire thing. Won't be a part of the army, but one that'll know almost everything and see the lands at which they recruited their army, pass through places that might not be welcoming to those of you from high plates. The choice is yours. You either go to the origin of the problem, or you go to the head of it.
Okay.
We have to decide now.
No, of course not.
Yes. Where's my drink? I need a few.
Yeah, with that, the Borman will come out with all the different drinks. He'll like pass around for whoever wants it. Yeah, he'll actually be mindful and pretty cool because he'll bring out a whole keg and just put it he'll put it on this distant table that nobody's on, and then place a bunch of like mugs next to it, but he'll fill up a bunch of mugs and like bring it to you guys.
Nice.
And we'll say, if you guys ever need a refill, just go to that that cask and pour some out for yourself. It's really good stuff.
Is this an Elvis chicken?
You don't remember? You don't
Yeah,
remember
no.
Borman?
I don't remember Borman. I have a
Good old
terrible memory.
Elvis chicken.
Borman's like the best NPC.
Yeah.
We have a lot of good NPCs.
Yeah, but one of them's an Elvis chicken.
I like
who runs a
Vermouth.
tavern.
I was-
I'm gonna kind of chug that one down and then get up and get a refill already.
All right, very good. I need to find my empty mug one, but for now they're all
Oh, he
gonna
comes
just be
attacks
full.
us.
What time of day is it?
It's like it's hard to tell because of the cloud and the rain. Atmospheric thunder outside as dramatic talkings have been done. But it is later. It's like late afternoon. Volca is just beginning to be lost into the horizon of the other high plates, and be blocked out by their shadows, and so yeah.
I'm low. I need to make an actual list of ingredients and how much. I know.
Yeah,
I'm, like,
we need
really
to figure
low
that
on-
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take care of it. But I want to. I know I don't have enough for any more doses, but I want to take the last few mushrooms I have, and with my brewer supplies, I want to get like a mortar and pestle and grind the last of them up, and then sprinkle them into the refill I just had.
Nice.
In a party again? Give him his needle.
No, this is not a. If Blindbeak is actually asking that, I will respond. No, tonight is not a night for party. It is for contemplation and contact. I have to go think some things over, and I will be back with an answer on this job proposition in the morning and more questions for you and Von Choi if you can answer them for me.
If we head down towards the core world, we might be able to stop at my plane and maybe help out Brooke.
Von Tross says, unfortunately, with this news, my path is clearer than ever. I will need to contact Mier, but even when I first heard of this, I knew what I had to do. There are plenty of capable sellswords there, including the king. Spell swords there, including the king. But I am heading to a crux to confront my past and to go to the origin of this thing.
How many spell swords are there?
In the entire, I gotta check what I named it again. I think I named it the Blade Monastery, but I forget. No, Blade Ministry.
But
that's it, Blade Ministry. He
but
says,
in like the fight in the dragon one.
well, yeah, he says in the whole Blade Ministry, there are. We might be going on about 1,000 now, a few hundred, but most of them are not very well trained, don't have as much experience. But other than that, you might find spell swords here and there. It is an uncommon calling, but there are those that come about it naturally. Many spell swords don't even have spell blades, even in the Blade Ministry. That is officially called a spell caliber, such as myself. But there are not many spell calibers. They are few and far in between, but most are in the Plate of Mier.
Those who have swords of the dragon are in danger. Their blood, it screams out. I don't know if it's ethical or not. I don't know how I feel about it.
I'm sorry, whose blood is screaming?
The dragons. Those who were slain.
But not the blood of the children of Milltown.
I'm not here to bicker. I'm here to say what I know.
The Blade Ministry and the Spell Calibers may be in danger, yes, but the entire reason that Baramon created the Blade Ministry was to protect others, to bring protection to other places. I need to follow the destructionist path that has already been made, starting with Milltown, and I need to ensure that people have something to come back to. Spell Calibers know there is danger. They know they may be hunted. These blades are worth fortunes, but not worth as much as the lives that we save. I may be a scholar, but first and foremost, I seek to protect people from dangers here and dangers from the stars. But we will take this into consideration. I am going to contact my people as soon as I can.
I'm gonna stand up after quaffing down the mushroom dosed ale, or I guess rum. And I'm going to kind of look around. Thank you for the payment, Monty. Thank you for your answers, Von Choi. It was good to see you again, Noldor, and I hope you all can have some form of relaxation before whatever comes next begins. But I have to go up to my room and do some thinking.
Captain Nardor Marja nods. Monty says, yes, thank you. I understand.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up into a bedroom, and I'm gonna just kind of sit on the bed and wait for it to hit me, and when it does, I want to see if I can contact Coralden.
Understood.
Everyone else can go first.
So,
what's Sinbad doing?
I think he's just drinking, kind of chilling.
Bonchwa even gets up and says, if nobody else has anything to speak with me about, I will be contacting my fellow spell sorts. He turns around and leaves.
Oh. Where'd the bartender? Oh, he's back there.
Yeah, he put that box over there.
I'm gonna ask him if I could have a piece of the dragon, or like the demon head.
Piece of it?
Yeah. Like maybe a small
he seems
bone
aghast
or
at that, and he says, "Wow, that's an old artifact of my family's. We've had it for generations. It's been kept in pristine condition for very, very long. In fact, Baron Monty is said to have given it to my family a long, long time ago, or at least his family, or something like that. Either way, it is very precious. I wouldn't have any mark on that skull. It is my family heirloom. I know it's impressive, though. I can understand why you would want it.
I think it's for the protection of the plate, if I got a little piece of it.
You're gonna have to admit that was really ominous. That kind of sounded like a threat, just a little bit, but like
no.
on a really big scale. Like I don't think you can actually destroy a plate, but like that was weird.
I think a piece of it could grant knowledge to the rest of. I don't know how to explain this. I sound crazy, but I think if I had just a small piece of it, that I could get knowledge from it and maybe prevent something from happening.
Make a persuasion check.
Fucking tough.
Oh, this is blind. Oh.
I'm sorry, Pally, but that is an old heirloom, and I don't know what you and, well, Monty has planned up for you, but I doubt it's anything like that, and I doubt my little skull over there would do anything. I mean, it's really old.
It's probably is some weird frog creature to be true, but Monty says it is of some sort of demon, so I trust Monty, and, well, I don't want that being touched by anybody, because you could do some weird cultist shit with it, and I ain't settling for that. I ain't gonna be the cause of no weird heebie-jeebies.
I'll just kind of drink and contemplate what he's saying. Need to talk to this guy. I need to talk to him.
Sleepy skull. Sleepy skull. Anybody else want to do something as the talks of the big lore dump has been done?
Is this guy moving about? Can I talk to Vermilla?
Yeah, he'll probably like move down here and actually talk with these guys. They seem to be three buddies. These guys perform a lot, and he's the bar owner, so they're like real good, but good pallies. So they seem engrossed in their own conversation.
If you get me a piece of that skull, I'll pay you.
Why do you think that I would want any sort of payment?
What would you want?
I haven't had to think for myself for some time. Things that I want, they're not so important. I honestly cannot tell you. A path. I'm not sure. I need to listen to my lord. My lord will tell me what to do.
Is she like praying or something right now?
No, she just got really quiet. You asked her a question that made her get introspective.
Does your lord always think for you?
I once was subservient to a great mind. One who the Lord Unseen told me would lead me to a great future. But then, now that is no longer, and now the Lord Unseen is fainter than ever. I believe that the Lord Unseen, although everywhere, is now not with me, has moved on to tell my previous master what to do. I have done my role until the Unseen One finds a new one for me.
My brain is fried right. What does that mean?
Unfortunately, all the other stuff, people got knowledge.
People are weird.
These people are still cryptic, especially Monty, but especially like Professor Von Schwa, not as cryptic. He's willing to tell you guys info, but for Milia, you gathered that her whole like fucking religion and her whole mindset is very cryptic, so it might be hard to get info out of Vermilia, but you can certainly try, and you're trying pretty good.
Knowledge is power, and that thing has knowledge, and if it shares it with me, I'd be more than happy to share it with you.
I don't see why you couldn't do this thing yourself.
If I did it by myself, where would you get any of the benefit?
I don't need any benefit. As I've said, I have no purpose at the moment. I have no goals. You give me nothing for me doing something.
Wow. He just wants to shirk the responsibility. And I'm just going to be saying this to those two. Because literally, I've just been listening this whole time. Just kind of chilling.
Yes, true. One I understand. As I said, I have been subservient. But not to you. Although, someone like you.
I blush.
Your feathers
I-
get
I-
ruffled.
I do a little flirty wink or something like that.
Vermilia just kind of smiles in her creepy way, and then actually does take a little sip out of her drink, but doesn't actually seem interested. Just, is just being Vermilia, just kind of cryptic and weird and creepy.
Listen, I wouldn't mind if you wanted to hang out with my party. I point to the rum thing. We're a new chapter is arising in our story. You got to think about it. Join us while we're all here.
What?
I'm just saying party with us, basically, or drink.
I do not
Why?
want her to be with us.
Yeah, what the
Yeah,
hell?
what the hell? She's weird.
We'll have
Go
some
to
words
our
at
round
the
table.
later.
I'll drink with Vermilia. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's hard to drink, but
You can absorb it, can't you?
I gotta put it in my little cup head.
Do you go and follow the army? Follow those who scour the earth, hoping to save it?
My intentions, I don't know yet. I have people I have to repay. Things I've done that I'm not happy I've put people in positions of that I need to make right. And that's my purpose as of right now.
My purpose is to find purpose. I think I will follow in my Lord's footsteps. Not the unseen one, but my previous master, to see if that will give me purpose. If
And
the
who was that?
unseen one will find my way. My master was the one who sees all, the new seer. They lead a great amount of people.
Is she talking about? She's talking about seers.
He has a great purpose and seeks to save the world. The unseen one supports this, but I don't think their goals are the same.
You talk about seers. I'm doing a little party trick. Can I like make my eyes glow, kind of like how I do when I do my
Make a
feature
base
sight?
wisdom check.
I'm gonna flex. I can't flex.
Nope. Your eyes do not glow.
That's so sad.
Feel profoundly unenlightened at the moment.
Oh.
I'm sad. I just start drinking.
Vermilia says,
Yes, I will find purpose. By finding purpose, I will follow my master, and hopefully the unseen one will come back to me.
with that, Vermilia will actually get up from her seat and say,
This conversation, although lacking fruit, becomes fruitful for me in my path. I thank you for that, and hope the unseen one guides you as well. Listen well, blind one.
They will leave.
Does she leave me with the tab?
Barman doesn't seem bothered by it. Maybe Vermilia just paid for it beforehand.
Okay.
All right. So what does everybody else want to do? This is the pinnacle decision that I've wanted to put forth for quite some time. But this is the big turning point. This is like basically the separation between two very different campaigns. So it's either you go down to the core world or you go up to the high plates. Your path there, it will be completely determined by you. But your destination will be the same as will be delivering something. It's completely dependent on you. And you guys do feel as though, even though it's just packages, as Monty implied, it might have very big effects throughout the entirety of the fucking plane.
After we're done, can we do another playthrough and pick the other option?
Yeah.
I think
with
it's
all
okay
the
Sure.
now.
characters.
A what if case scenario.
We gotta do a save state so we
Yeah,
can
we
come
gotta
back to
save
it.
so we can come back. I don't want to miss
Yeah.
out on any content.
Oh, don't worry. I have the stories and all the different places planned out, but the content's not super prepared yet. So it's not like you're missing out on content. It just means you guys might not visit certain planes.
We gotta just 100% it, guys. Come on.
Flint has actually only made
This is
one
100%
path. He's
speedrun?
just giving us the illusion of choice.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes. The way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Telltale Games.
Nah, that's lame.
It's like a 1.5. Yeah.
Stav, why didn't you ask Monty about your barrel?
I'll kind of look back at Monty. Oh, and I'll look back to Blindbeak. I'd rather do it by myself.
It's like a puzzle box. It's like a puzzle cube. He's trying to solve the Rubik's cube, and he doesn't want help.
Can I get some insight? Can I try and see inside of it? I know it's
Oh my god.
nutty. I
You
want to know
try.
it.
No, you can't, because you've already done this a billion times. You know it's
Well,
something
I've done it once.
sugary.
Oh, what if I tried to do it instead?
No,
Hmm?
Get your
everybody.
hands off my
Something
puzzle
different.
box.
You
Stop
know-
I'd
touching
like
my
to
puzzle
touch
box.
the
All of
fucking
you.
puzzle box.
No,
Slap
that
your hand
you
away.
all.
I break
you,
the puzzle box.
you
I'm
all
stealing the
know-
barrel.
Why
It
does
is
the
my
barrel
barrel
have
now.
Sight?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna switch it around a little bit. Do I hear a swishing sound?
Yeah, you hear a liquid. It is liquid in there.
Mm-mm-mm.
It's
Do I hear a
sugary.
swishing sound though? That's the question.
I think he's asking if it's like maple syrup like substance.
No.
You-
Is there a swishing sound?
No, you more feel it more than hear it, because
Okay,
it's
that
very
means
well
it's
sealed.
all the way, and that would imply that it's all the way up to the top, right?
It is full, correct.
Alrighty. Cracks knuckles, cracks vines. There's a special little condition about a certain little spell called Find Familiar.
You're
That
gonna put
specifies
your familiar
Oh, no.
inside of the.
that. Yeah. You can put it inside because it doesn't specify as long as it's within 30 feet and it's an unoccupied space, which a liquid would be, because we already clarified this. Yes, I could transport Cyanoi into sport form and then put him inside. And in frog form. Very nice.
It's more like, it's less so you're making him into a spore that can get in it because it's completely sealed, and more like you're just making the stuff inside so moldy that you make a mushroom in it.
Mushroom.
You make it moldy, and that's not good.
I mean, it's magic though. It might not be that bad.
Meh. Oh,
Let me
well.
hold on.
Anyways, I dropped them in.
We've been waiting for this.
Luckily, frogs can hold their breath for up to 8 hours, which is very nice.
Oh. Wow. Frog
Another
fact
note
of the
about
day.
second frog fact of the day. Their stomachs actually expand to the size of their body, sometimes even larger, and they can expel their
Okay,
stomachs.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm not.
What's the
your
thing?
Cyanoi, your familiar, when it gets bamfed out, it doesn't retain stuff inside of it. Your
So when I
familiar
teleport,
is
when I teleport, does all the contents of my stomach pour out of myself?
Cyanoi isn't teleporting. Cyanoi is literally going out of existence and coming back into existence. Like I
Is
said,
that not
it's
Is that
No.
not teleporting?
no,
It's the same
no.
creature, though.
You're literally destructing Cyanoi into nothingness. Not just like transporting him. It's not teleportation. It's summoning. It's summoning from like basically every time. Okay, here it is. Every time this is the sad fact about Find Familiar. Every time you summon your familiar, it's not the same familiar. It's not the same body of the familiar. It's the same mind, sure, but it's not. It's like the way it says it is it's a spirit that you summon forth and then you banish. So it's making a new body every time. So it's not like you can just fucking have it grab something and then bamf it out with the thing in its hands, and then bamf it back, and it still has it in its hands, it doesn't retain objects like that.
Your question is
That's
hard right now.
crazy.
But you could still do this and have your find familiar
just wanna
tell
find
you
out
what
what it
happens.
is. Yeah, I just wanna find out what it is right
Exactly.
now.
I'm fine with it because as far as I could tell, you gain the service appearing in an unoccupied space. Yeah, as far as I could tell, you did your good homework, and yes, it can appear in there. So I would allow it to drink whatever's inside and tell you what happens. And with that, I'll finally reveal the secret, and I'll tell you
Let's go.
what it is. It's Professor. Hold on, not Professor Von Schwab. Don't worry, it's a different professor. This one is more of an alchemist. There's a professor in there. Why can't I click on it anymore? It's being laggy. Sedge. Too many things. You've discovered soda pop.
Huh.
Your cyanoid drinks it. It's magical soda pop though. So it tastes
Carbonated?
Yeah, it's like carbonated. It's bubbly on the inside.
Interesting.
But it doesn't seem like it's fizzing up as much. You surmise that it might not have as much fizzy explosion. None of that nonsense. But so it's it gives you a sugar rush basically, and your cyanoid is super psyched up afterwards. And cyanoid is able to take use their bonus action as a normal action once per the 24 hours after drinking it. So basically it's like a minor haste soda pop.
So they just get 2 actions and no bonus action.
Yeah, they can substitute their bonus action for a real action. And let's see. Only 8? No, that's not true. Yeah. Well, that's what you figure out just from sending Sinoi in there and having them.
We don't want it.
Second investigatory process is the inside of the barrel coated in the literal. Also, how big is this barrel? Question 2.
It's pretty big. It's
Yeah. Okay. This stuff is not worth it. Well, I don't know why you would spend so much money on this.
Oh, you have Monty right there. He presumably put it in this barrel.
Well, sure, but anyways, question 2 is the inside of it coated with this sovereign salve.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I mean, as I described last time, it's kind of like. It's
but
a part of the structure and everything. So yes, you have it's coated in it. Yes.
But the inside as well, because normally when you have substances like this, it usually has one on the inside and one on the outside. Because you have to do it with a glass bottle in the case of keeping them, that you have to put it on the inside of the bottle. So the inside is also coated in this.
I mean. All right, here we go.
Because this barrel is literally worth
2 cents.
No, several.
Oh, the barrel itself.
The barrel itself is worth
sovereign glue that's already
thousand.
been used of sovereign glue. Yes, I mean it has been. It does have a copious amount of this sovereign glue, just kind of laden over.
If it's a large barrel, it's
I mean, it's not raw. It's it's It's
it over 10 inches
reaches,
in surface area?
I mean,
and then it's
definitely.
more than 10,
it reaches the waist of a
million.
normal sized person. It's fucking.
It might be $1 million barrel.
True.
They might have spent $1 million on this barrel. That's crazy.
Strange. How did Baron Monty get all that?
He's rich.
How is sovereign glue made?
Alchemists.
Yeah, alchemists. Lots of magic.
All right, I'm gonna poof Sinoi out. So when I poof him in and out of existence, I'm just making a new one, right?
Yeah, but it has the same mind theoretically. Like when
So are the effects the same? Or is the damage the same?
I'd allow the effects to carry over. Maybe.
Why?
That just
I'm
doesn't
making
make
a new
sense.
one.
If the
I'm just
effects carry over, but not what it's holding.
Okay, fine. It does it does miss it. It gets rid of its super spice. That actually makes sense too, because I'm kind of referencing because you're basically forcing it to drop to 0 hit points, and I'm trying to rationalize how it would work if it got to 0 hit points. And again, it can't have objects when it dies and then come back with that object. And when it dies, any effect on it would dissipate. So yes, I will say it does not carry over the effect of the soda.
Interesting. Okay.
The puzzle box has been solved, quote unquote.
Yeah, we don't want it.
Sorta.
It depends why he wants the barrel. Well, why Monty has the
Boromon, you want a indestructible barrel?
Can I get in it?
What?
The frog can.
No. I mean, I guess that's kind of novel. Maybe.
10 gold pieces.
10 gold pieces.
How about? I mean, if it's indestructible, I imagine that I probably won't be able to get into it. So, how about
10 gold pieces? What do you mean?
I don't know. It's
Monty.
just it'll basically be like a new seat, but like
Monty, can you just open this up for us?
Oh, you had one of the lost and found items. Oh yes. There should have been some flasks in that area. I didn't really have them labeled, I don't think. Might have been my bad, but some flasks of the tincture that could have melted the protections. But it also does have a somewhat of a magical lock upon it as well. But it's easy enough. And he'll come over. He'll pull out.
He's literally just
a liquid.
On you.
Liquid of. So here's the thing. He had these vials of basically super solvent. Were there, and I'm pretty sure I described them to Feyre when Feyre went in there first. But you guys didn't do anything with it, and it wasn't labeled, so it is understandable. But either way, he does like pour it along the seams of the top, or there's probably something like that, and then he'll like whisper underneath his mouth and something. You don't really see the magic come off of it, but you surmise it probably had like an arcane lock or something on it as well. And he'll pop it open. And yeah, it's the dark brown of a soda pop, but it's got like glitter in it. It looks like it has like little glitter things in it. And he says, "This is Professor Salt's solution. It's supposed to invigorate you. It's mostly good for people that are within front lines or some such, so that they can, hit people really hard. People that just have to do a lot of things at once. So, yeah.
Why would you spend so much on a barrel?
I have my means. I have certain
It's where
contacts.
he hides his horn or something.
What?
Porn?
Porn?
What is porn?
Yeah, I don't believe Monty would say that, but I mean, not Monty. Blindbeak would say that, but even if Blindbeak did say that, Monty would ignore him.
Walk away.
I'm gonna put my water skin in there and just fill it up with the whole fucking.
I'm gonna put my porn in there.
So you get soda. One,
how
or no, with the
much does a
flask.
water skin have?
I'll give you 2 uses.
2 uses per water skin. How many water skins did I bring with me? I probably brought a lot. I brought 5 bells for no reason. Flasks to vials.
We got to do some math.
Monty will just rest here. He seems perturbed. He seems really thoughtful.
I'd like
got
to
a
talk to
question for
Monty.
Monty.
Oh,
No way.
No way. Me too.
You guys
That's
both
crazy.
talked to him at once.
So many questions
So,
for Monty.
This is so embarrassing. Oops.
It's okay. I'll let you go first.
Oh, okay. It is not very important in the grand scheme of things, but I was wondering, what information you have gotten out of this book.
Yes. My apologies. In all of this excitement, I have forgotten about your specific needs. My apologies.
He kind of looks through his book again and says,
Oh, yes. It's been quite some time for this, but I'm starting to remember some of the dealings with your original ink. The most fascinating part for you, perhaps you might want to know, is that you're actually only one half of a vial or a collection of your ink. I'm not sure if your memory it means you probably lost some of the memory that was inherent in your old ink, but this other half may have the pieces that are missing if you are experiencing such effects. But
Yes, definitely.
they were both sent to two different places. One was sent, your ink was sent to a. It seemed to be originally sent to one steward. Pulling up my notes. Steward Havlin Aris. It says here that they are in the plate of Monteris.
Montero.
They might be able to tell you more. I'm not sure what they did with you afterwards. I didn't deal with the delivering of wherever you went next, so I'm not sure how you got into the hand of this Havlin Eris and your creator, your father. The other half that you might be more inclined to look for, perhaps, but might be quite difficult, and a little strange and awkward. I didn't remember this, I swear, but it kind of unfortunately aligns with some of my own plans, for it went to Abbas Alakane in, as we have discussed, Crux. That's where your other half was sent. So
I do not like this news. This is not.
yeah,
this is
yeah.
not
Monty
helpful.
himself seems pretty like. I'm sorry about that. I wish I had better news to give you. I did legitimately forget about these dealings. It's been quite some time since this specific one, but he references it again. He says, "Yes, Havlin Eris in the in Monteris, although he would want to be called by the steward, and this Avos Allegane." He kind of is. I'm sorry, but
Okay.
it might be even more difficult than you could have imagined to unravel more of the mysteries of yourself.
Thank you for at least this amount of information.
He nods, says, "Is there any way I can help? Let me know. I can help in ways."
And also, I know you will all probably be talking later tonight about which direction you will be heading, but for your input for that input, in case you needed anything else, I will reward you with riches beyond what most of you have seen for doing the next job. If you manage to deliver one of these, I will give each of you 100,000 gold pieces.
What?
Excuse me? Just to make sure I heard that right, could you repeat that?
100,000 gold pieces with several, about 5 zeros on that particular number.
Where do you come into this amount of money?
Sov taps the barrel just about this much.
I have, I have told you, I have perhaps more larger goals than you might see, and therefore have very specific friends in very powerful places that can help me achieve these things. Truly, I wish that money, all things considered, and as much as I have talked about business, I wish money didn't have to be a matter in these things, but it proves as a very good influencer, a way to energize people into doing the right things. Either way, keep that in mind. I will pay you all up front with some as well, because traveling between the plates is difficult, but not even a large sum of that reward. Probably just more around the another 250 gold pieces to make sure that you all are able to afford fare. As well, if you are traveling up the plates, then I believe you will be able to go with Captain Noldor Mandra once again, and have one free ride to Nailthal. But other than that, I don't think he will be able to help. As for the trip down the plates, I am not sure. I'm not sure how easy that will be, especially considering Milltown, the port for going down the plates, is, well, assumed to be completely decimated. So that one might be a bit more difficult to surmise. But if you are able to get another boat, perhaps pay another one to go all the way across around the plate and to that port, and then down the plates, then, well, good on you.
It's going to be a lot of consideration where to go from here. Although trades your vial being more in the core world, that's all the more reason to go on that journey, is it not?
I guess. I wasn't very interested in going there, but if that is where this takes us.
We do always have the option of facing their armies on the high plates.
There is some business I'd like to get done on the high plates myself.
As much as I
would
have no
consider it.
Is
Well,
fighting the right answer? We're not involved in this war. We don't even know if it is a war. What is there to accomplish? We don't know their motives.
As much as I do not care for, as much as I tired of my home plate, I do not wish Ithril to suffer the same fate as Milltown.
I believe this is a war. They first declared war when they attacked my plate.
Monty kind of raises his eyebrow at that and says, I heard of a civil skirmish in Pridonis, but are you implying that this army was well ahead of itself?
I believe so, yes. It's what's had me exiled from the plates, in fact. All I know is that fateful day the Dragon Riders attacked our castle, they seemed to have seized it.
There's still so much that is unseen.
It's just a puzzle to me. Were we just a stepping stone in their plan? What does Predonis have to do with their goals?
Still so much unknown, clouded. We might not know without delving deeper into it.
Indeed. I just want to make the bastards pay.
An eye for an eye doesn't always work.
What's that?
That's so ironic.
Yeah.
The blind
Yeah.
guy talking to the one-eyed guy.
Guess where I lost my eye?
That's where I lost mine.
I have a few different guesses.
I was gonna step outside for a minute.
Pain only reaps more pain. That's my belief.
The clouds overhead as you step out crackle, and you see like webs of lightning pass across it. You feel as though it's almost like trying to symbol, to sign at you, to convey something else, as it does it for an uncommon amount of time. Thunder roaring out, but you still can't make any sort of sense of it. But you gather that there might be something more here.
I summon my spear. Is there any more writing on it?
No, not particularly. Although originally what I had planned for it to be written, and I think we talked about this a little bit, but you had something else. But well, since we both forgot, I will put this forward. Is it says on it that only you shall pass.
Okay.
But your spear does seem to crackle with a sort of energy thrumming at you, almost egging you on, and it make a insight check.
15.
You feel as though it is egging you to like kind of almost make a decision, just to like go forth. It doesn't seem to necessarily tell you where to go, at least not yet, not but it is egging you to like kind of make a decision, and kind of just trying to almost like you feel that it knows that this is an important moment, and that there's some sort of like center of power where you are standing right now in this town, something else, and it knows and it wants you to use this moment to the best of your ability.
All right. It's a lot of pressure.
Well, I have no interest in going down, so my vote, if it comes to that. Or, I have no interest in going up, so if it comes to that, my interest is going down.
I second that vote. I understand people want to go up, but I feel like the politics behind this might matter a little bit.
Feyre comes back in. I think we should go to the core. I think you're right. Whatever's happening, it originated there, and that's where we'll find out what's going on.
Sinbad, if it comes to this after our delivery, if I can, I'll help with what I can do with your world, with your plane. That's the promise I'll make you if you accompany us to the core world.
Very well. I shall hold you up to that. My urgency lies in the path towards the high plates, but with what you've said now, I am willing to go on to the core world, especially to solve this present issue.
Well, we'll have to go back up to the high plates eventually if I'm to see all of your home plates.
Indeed.
Who knows? Maybe I could show you around Ithril while we're up there.
Bello
I'd very
kind
much
of
appreciate that.
and to Yusov specifically says, my savior spawn, I trust your judgment. The Silofer
Not
was
the cat.
wounded. They require help, and I see none better than you to perhaps help heal the wound. But I will speak for the rest of my brethren that you will find much destruction there. They stole many of our people, the other sovereigns, and carried them away in this war.
Whoa. Descending is our best option. Not only in recovering the others, but in saving many more. I think that if we are to go to Flux, or Crux, that we could avert some greater disaster for our brethren. For my brethren.
And then they all kind of speak in unison, just like wah to everybody else, but they say, as the Savior's spore says, it shall be done. You shall save our people. We follow your spores.
Shreyas, are you okay with all this? I know you wanted to go up.
I have reason to go down too now. It is not preferable, but I am okay with it.
Wait, I have an idea. Feyre literally says that and runs outside.
I'm just gonna be looking out the doorway.
Yeah,
Are we gonna cut the Feyre or Hundlefier right now, though?
We're gonna do Feyre first, and then Hundlefier be the last thing.
I don't know if this is actually going to do anything, but I hope it does. Feyre just remembered that she can use Call Lightning, so I want to cast Call Lightning to bring the storm down into my spear.
Oh.
Please make a charisma check.
You're seducing lightning.
as you try to kind of commune with your god in a more, or your not even your god, your patron, your entity, into a more personal matter. Channel it into your very being to have understanding pass between you.
Is it a charisma save or a check?
I will allow a save.
Okay, thank you.
Especially since you have better save, yeah.
I do have a better save. Come on. Don't let me down. I've been rolling
Lock it in. Lock it in.
Rolled like shit yesterday.
in.
Let's go. 17.
Ooh,
That's good, that's
that
good.
is pretty good. You do look up to the sky, and before this almost dormant storm cloud, this cloud keeping to itself, finally seems to coalesce. All the spider web of electricity seems to finally gather together into one spot, and as it does, you see it strike down into your spear and then course into your body. But it's not painful. Not really. It's a hot flash. It's a sense that your whole body is alive. But it's not, you don't burn. it simply seems to pass through you. Even the wood, the ground beneath you seems to singe and burn, but you don't feel anything except this energy flow through you. And as it does, you feel something else against your mind. Simply more this just like sparks of energy igniting synapses to create some sort of visual understanding, knowledge, and you sense a cloud across every single place. Not only this plate, but the entire plane. And you sense its fear that things will break out, that the evil lurking beneath the depths will finally be able to leave and to scour this planet and then many others. And you feel it being dragged towards some sort of other thought, a thought that everything must be whole, everything must stay together in this one spot, or disaster will strike, and beasts even deeper than the one within your plate will hatch and scour the entire universe, the astral sea, every dimension. And you feel this understanding course through you as you see that at the very center of this world, you see a light, but it's grasped by Vane, this obsidian giant bird. And then you see the sky where darkness and only corruption lies. And you see that both options lead to something similar. Everything is whole in a way, but you can only go one of both ways, towards the stars, to only where you can pass through this cloud blanketing the plains, or down beneath where everything is whole and everything will be found. And it is with that we will cut also to the other holy moment going on. Almost in tandem, Hundofir, your whole mind is beginning to reach out. You're seeing bright lights cascade through your window. Not natural. You know these are being summoned forth. And as you sit there, you almost in tandem with this flash of lightning from outside, all the colors mix and swirl and are blindingly bright until you are back into a very familiar scape, a kaleidoscope of different lights as you enter once again the fabric of divinity where you had met before. You sense again this presence, these many eyes looking upon you, of all of the children of Annalend looking down at you. But coming out of this miasma, this nebula, you see coalescing from the light, their armor arcing and their form appearing before you. You see, almost seeming to pace, you see your god once again, Coraldig, and they seem distracted, muttering under their breath. They say, "Oh, this is no good. It is coming too early. They are seeking more." Then, as you clear your throat, Coraldig notices you and says, "You have arrived. I have been waiting to speak to you for some time. You have been going off. Learning of true purpose is good. But this world, it is in danger, and you must spread our word. You have not been telling people of us, the Daygir. They will be lost, their souls." And he kind of stops, and he looks worried. He looks frazzled, even more than usual. And he says, "Oh, things are going too quickly, yet too slowly. As things pass, it seems like a millennia in between, and I forget details. But something is off. We need more. We need more attention. We cannot gather power. We cannot gather their souls. They will be lost." But he coalesces himself, especially as you speak, and he looks to you.
I'm sorry. I'm not I'm a religious man, and I'm a shaman, but I have not been a preacher. I have not been one to spread faith before. I am not used to this, nor has my journey so far been very conducive. Wherever we go, it's violence and death and no moment of respite. But I find myself at a crossroads now, and I'm looking to you and your siblings, if they're here listening, for guidance.
This violence is but the showing of the times. More violence will be had, this world torn asunder along with many others. I'm sorry that I put you in this situation, and I know there is violence all around, but people can only be saved by learning. But then he kind of looks askant, and he seems to almost talk to himself, and he says, unless maybe. No, it is impossible. Fate has been seen. Our father has seen. This world is ended. The 9th world. It is the only thing that matters now. But we must save your people. Perhaps. He looks to you and he says, if you cannot preach, perhaps we can put more power into you. But I would have you speak our name, so that at least if you fail, we can save others. We can bring them out from a place that will be destroyed. He puts his hand upon your shoulder. You see as he almost seems to grow larger as he looks upon you with great purpose. And he says, either way, you will save these people. I trust you, our champion, our speaker, to try and save. The other champions are being lost in the internal politics. Issen's corrupted. The others falling as well. But you are different. You have an element to you. One that has not been seen except in the 9th world. You must go forth. Save either this place or its people. Either way, we will extract you. Your death will not be final. You will join us up here. But try to do as much change as you can down there. Either with those that the gods have blessed in the high plains, or those truly lost, and that beast that holds the world's true power. He kind of looks across. He looks up towards the sky to all the others that you can sense but not see. And he says, we must trust him. Let him go. And he looks to you finally and he says, can you do this thing? We are losing ourselves.
I know when it hurts. I've never seen you as your true selves, but I wish to someday. And I want to help how I can, and I want to help these people, but it's just, my life was so simple before I came here. I could be happy, I could be jovial, I could spread your word within our village, I could raid, and I could drink and be merry, and now I'm in places I've never seen, dealing with armies.
No one will have that privilege if what the darker parts of our world would have happen. You must perhaps sacrifice yourself, even a little, to save others so they may experience that. I'm sorry.
No, I understand, and so my question is the subsequent job I've been offered by Monty the path you see for me? And if it is, which can allow me to help? Which of the two options allows me to help most? And especially if you're out here, I don't always get along with you, but isn't I want to help you and your champion, and I need to know how I can best do that, how I can be set on the right path.
Issen's champion may be too lost now, lost with those others, those seeking the destruction without them knowing it. He kind of looks across and he says, they all think, all of them, they're loud. They want you to go. After that army, strike at their heart, go up. But I have already seen, I have listened through you, and I see that there is great power in the center of this world. A power held by that phoenix, the obsidian phoenix. If you can manipulate that, guard it from those that scour the surface, then perhaps you can keep from true destruction. And then he kind of like winces almost, and you actually almost hear this subtle, almost humming, this choir. You see the nebula itself start to shake, and you see these white kind of rifts start to open, separating everything. And he says, they do not agree. And you even start to hear in your own mind, no, you must follow. You must follow. Go towards the prophet. Save the people. This world is lost. No. But Carl Dick looks to you and says, I trust you. Both will lead to something. And you are something entirely new. Breaking the cycle of fate outside of our father's vision. You must go where you see fit. And then with that, he seems almost as if he's split apart in this white void that's spreading, and then this darkness, as suddenly you reach a strange, restful state as you truly fall asleep, still with questions on your mind, perhaps strange dreams, like remnants of this vision, polluting your mind. But more questions. This wasn't answers. This was a council in disarray. Something you've always experienced their strife, their rivalry, but never at this state. It seems that this was a breaking point, and that whatever you choose, you will either gain the ire of some or the power of others.
Okay. And just to be clear, going up would be towards Avos Alakane?
Going down is going to Avos Alakane. Going
Down
up
is
is towards
Avos.
the army.
Okay. Okay. And that's where what did they call him? Whisper is?
Whisper Alakane is with the army, correct.
Okay.
And with that, we will end this session.
There's
Sorry,
way
it
too
was
many questions.
it was a bit
thank
it was a
God.
bit a lot. You guys ended up pulling on all the strings that I've set up before as well. So
It's like the time we've done that. Hooray!
like a lot was dumped on you guys, and I know it might be a lot, but trust me, the rest, this was like the pinnacle moment of the decision moment. So now that it seems that you guys have all come to agreement to go to the or at least what it sounded like, you guys can always change your mind, discuss more, but it sounds like you guys are going down to the core world. So with that in place, I can finally start truly preparing for the next areas and what will happen there. But yeah, that is it. With questions abundant and a direction perhaps decided but still unclear, your fate has been cast, and you shall decide how you will interact with the end or the saving of this world. And that's it. All right. Bye-bye, chat. Bye-bye, Twitch.
Bye, chat.
Bye,
Thank
chat.
you, stream.
Chat.
I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye,
Bye.
guys. Bye-bye.
Stream.